lovelies, welcome back. This is our cozy and realistic no mod series where we play as General of the Minutemen, working to rebuild the Commonwealth one settlement at a time. And today we are continuing our build here at Dalton Farm. You can see Preston is ready to go, so let's dive right in. Last time we ended by playing around with this structure a little bit that I am just so charmed by, trying to use some of the scaffolding ramp to make a slant inside a house so we can have sort of a split level house going on. I think we've proved that it's possible. So let's just continue where we left off there and keep going with this. Let's store these walls because I think doing this twice as wide would be just really delightful. I know that's going to mean a lot of scaffolding floor in the middle, but I think I'm fine with that. Let's go into structures, barn. I just really like the idea we've been sort of playing with in the last 2 episodes of what if this is a very community-centered place to live. You know, we have this house that we built before. I know it's kind of backlit, so that's a little hard to see. But we have this house with the patio that faces inward, and I just think it'd be so lovely if they're all looking out for each other, because that's really how it would have to be in a place like Far Harbor. And I think this is a good floor plan here. Just like a double wide, and then the, not stairs. I keep wanting to say stairs, but these ramps in the middle. And then we can group select the whole thing and sort of stretch it out here. You know, we don't even have to do ramps across the whole thing. This could be... Every time I think through this floor plan, I'm charmed all over again, because how lovely is this? We can have this be 2 kind of disconnected parts. Oh, that made it come taller, didn't it? Let's try on this side. Since we won't be able to use as much of the floor plan to the left here against the rocks, I want to make sure that we are using as much of it as possible. I might have cut that a little too close, intersecting with this rock here, because we do want it to be able to have a wall on it. So maybe just a smidge. Did I intersect with this a little too much? If I can still put a wall on it, I'm not mad. And I can still put a wall on it, so maybe we cover just this little corner with a table. My goal is to push this as far against this rocky outcrop as possible so we can still have space to navigate around it. Like, this would be a good walking path for people. Now we want people to be able to get down. Maybe I wanted this lower. I know I just said the other way of having it was fine. I know we're intersecting with some bush. That's okay. I like this. This feels good. All right, let's think through sort of porch for them, because I think these half pieces, could be just lovely in making that happen. And what stairs did we do over here? We just did the basic stairs. Will these stairs snap? It looks like yes. So let's do stairs like this. I know they're coming out right onto this farmland, so we can move some of these as well. Maybe even replace them with some mute fruit trees just for some variety. But I always like when the settlements have these little mounds, like they've already done some farming here. This is going to be great. Because I'm thinking, if we don't do the ramps across the whole... Oh, I want this turned the other way. Can I not have this turned the other way? I want it like that. That's interesting. If we keep these in sort of separate sections, then we can have a more private bedroom. And that just feels kind of luxurious, doesn't it? Oh, this is going to be such a neat structure. Okay, so where it makes sense for like a front door to be? I think either here or here. On this square, we do have that bush to contend with in front, so this one might make a little more sense. But if we do it here, then this can be sort of a kitchen, which would also be really cool. But I think the bush is going to push us to make a decision there. Can we do... The shack steps don't want to go right in the middle. Is that because the wall isn't a shack wall? If I store that and click this doorway to it, then the shack steps will go here. But if I want to use... Gosh, we're still learning new things about these pieces every day. Now that has a gap. I would really like this here though, so let's just pillar glitch it. Thank goodness for the pillar glitch. Someday, I do think it would be fun to play around with mods. Not today, but I've said in past videos, and it seemed like people were open to the idea of maybe once we've done every single settlement, maybe then we play with starting them all again, but with mods. You know? I feel like that'd be kind of fun to compare what we were able to do without with what we would be able to do with. I'm not able to get that quite as low as I want, and I'm not sure why. Let's try grabbing it from the side. Oh, that's better. Yeah. Oh, that's just lovely. There we go. It's a really solid entrance. Let's keep filling out the rest of these walls. That would be nice on that side. Solid wall on this side. Same here. Well, yeah, let's do a solid wall on this side. And then let's do maybe this so they can see out there but still feel pretty protected. Because I think this sort of entrance, this entrance to the house, this opens up a much more wild part of the settlement. And I want to make sure that they do still feel protected. Alright, now we need to redo the walls how we did them before. Which I don't really remember how we made that happen before. Let's start with the eave piece, because I think it'll be easier to snap a wall in below it. And we'll want this one so the outside is on the outside. And it did go green for a second, but not where I needed it to go green. Oh, I shouldn't have scrapped what we had played with last time yet, huh? That's okay. We'll find our way back. Let's try and get this piece in place. Doesn't want to go the way I want it to go. So let's snap something on in the meantime to sort of make that happen. Oh, now rotation isn't working. That could be a problem. Is that just a glitch? Yeah, it's working fine now. Alright. If I move this, it won't snap back into place, which we kind of already knew. That's okay. Because we can redo this floor. Let's just move it out of the way. And I think we're going to use our scaffolding squares to be able to put these back. I think that's how we did it last time. Yeah, that'll snap right back into place. Oh, lovely. But now that we have that, can we do the wall first? This is a good refresher for me, because I really like what we're doing here with a more creative floor plan. I want to be able to do it again. This is just so we can try and snap that partial wall piece on, yeah, more easily. It's just more friendly when it has something to grab onto on the left. That's nice. And can you come back into place here for me? I know you can. There we go. That's lovely. You know, same thing. I think we're going to move the scaffolding ramp out of the way so we can place this partial first. But we're going to need a wall to snap it to. So let's grab... Will this snap? I hear a snap. So I'm hoping yes. And now this partial goes here. And now let's get the eave for the top going. This roof, however we do the roof on top of this, is also going to be interesting. This doesn't want to go. What if we store that wall for a second? We shouldn't be running into any issues putting a eave on top of this barn wall. I mean, not to jinx it, right? But that should be a pretty easy one to pop in there. What if we did a roof? What if we used the roof to sort of coax that in place? Because maybe this is like a step to the left or right. I'd be surprised, but stranger things have happened. Yeah, just needed the roof. Although it does... Does that seem like it fits? I'm just gonna place this out of the way for 1 second. That's where this... Yeah, okay. Okay. There we go. Well, now we don't have the floors in, which we knew. This is like Jenga, or what's the opposite of Jenga? You're trying not to tear pieces down in any particular order, but to build them back up in exactly the right order. Oh, good. That can still snap in place. Lovely. Let's go ahead and get the wall with the windows back. This one. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted there. And now this one, I put a new floor instead of using the one we set aside. This block I would love to be their bedroom. So I'm thinking the walls are a little shorter. We could do this half wall. The windows are so nice because they make the space feel bigger. They add a little airiness. But the walls without windows are also nice because they make it feel more secure. Let's do this little Eevee guy, this little Eevee guy. That should be more than enough headspace for them to have beds inside. Do a roof like that. Let's see how this looks. That's charming! Can this go in the middle? I bet it can, but I'm not sure I want it to. That's charming. A little split level house in Far Harbor. That's... what a delight. These shack steps, I know we spent time putting them into place with a pillar glitch, but I'm actually wondering if we use the same half scaffolding piece like we did for the porch back there. Was that not... Was I not a scaffolding piece? Was it a barn piece? It was a barn piece, my goodness. That almost might be a smoother transition inside. Oh, yeah, that's delightful. Let's look for other roof pieces. I don't know how we want to do this roof, to be honest with you. I don't know how these pieces go. That feels incorrect. I mean, that is incorrect because they don't meet at the top. But then the back bit is open, right? That could be cool. I mean, we could fill that in with the little... I keep calling them eaves. Would you call these eaves? They just seem like kind of roof pieces, not rafters. Oh, I think that's nice. Oh, I think that's absolutely lovely. Hi, Preston. Oh, great. This place has great bones. I'll tell you what. And then let's just do one more roof piece in this little corner. And I think maybe the flat one. Maybe the flat one does work here? Let's see how that looks. I really don't like with these pieces that they don't have any sort of lip over the edge. They just look kind of strange. A little underwhelming, maybe. We could always look at a little cupola thing like that. Did we do one on this house? No, we didn't. Oh, that's so charming. I know that's a little much for this house, but I don't want to force us to not be a little much. Let's continue on with the structure. Make sure this is all walled off. Oh, does that make this window kind of strange then? Yeah, it does. Let's swap these walls. Let's put this one on the inside part here. And that one like that. Or is that, I mean, is that just begging to let somebody come through your bedroom wall and reach a hand? I mean, these don't even have glass in them. Somebody could just reach a hand in and grab you in your sleep. All right, we can forget about the window in the bedroom then. Maybe we give them electricity or a lot of candles to make up for the fact that it'll be dark in here. Let me turn on my Pip-Boy in the meantime. That'll help too. We don't have like a Eve piece that has a window in it. It would be so charming if we did. Doesn't look like it. That's okay. Although, sometimes the warehouse set pieces are interchangeable. I thought we had like a glass one. Like this? That's exactly what I was thinking of. Oh my goodness. Well, how lovely is that? That's exactly what we wanted. Oh my goodness, and it does fit in with the barn set pretty well. I know we're backlit by the sun, but oh gosh, I hope you can see how lovely that feels. Okay, I know that there's a gap here between these scaffolding ramps. I'm not that pressed about it. I think that's fine. Let's finish the structure here. I'm pausing because I want a railing here as well, just on this side, just like that, yeah. And then let's come back into barn and do barn door here. And this should be able to open out onto the porch because the porch is flat, so you don't need to worry about it being in the way. Just like that. Oh goodness, yes. That's lovely. And then one more down here. And that will open inward. Let's let this one open inward on purpose. Yeah, there we go. Because that way they don't block off this porch part and we can put some chairs there. Okay, is that everything for the structure? Are we good to move on to the decoration? Before I forget, let's pop an outhouse down out here because we are making this so each of these houses faces this sort of central area. We could just put it here next to this rocky outcropping as close as possible. Oh, it's raining now. How's that? Or is that too strange? We could also wait until we have more houses here. Let's just leave this sort of just like this. It doesn't look good. It is out of place. That'll be our reminder to ourselves to deal with it later and not forget. Okay, we have doors. This is so good. Let's start up here, because in my head this is sort of similar to the kitchen space we had in the other place. And it's raining now. How lovely. So let's also give them a cooking stove and a counter to go with that so they can prepare food. This counter and tables. I use it every week. I think it's a container. Ooh, do we want to give them a really long one? Is there room for a really long one if we really smush the cooking stove in the corner here? Let me just... Why is it red everywhere? Let me just place that out of the way. And then see how much room we would have for it if we push the cabinet as far as it could go. I mean, we could if we rug ledge it, which isn't out of the question, but I do think it's a little cramped. So let's use this one instead. Wait for that green. There we go. And now we have plenty of room for this lovely little cooking stove. And they can kind of look out here while they cook. I think that's just so charming. And where is... I know there's a sink somewhere. Yeah. I think a sink here. There's not a more broken sink, is there? I feel like that's our one sink. Maybe it feels a little too clean. I know how important it is to be able to wash your hands before you cook, but it does feel a little jarringly clean, doesn't it? We can come back to that wall if we need to. If we feel the need to. Okay. Now over here, I think we have enough room for a little corner table. Or even a proper table. I mean, that's a full dining table. That's nice. Gosh, it's so dark out already. Do we want to sleep until daylight? Do we want this wall to be a wall with a window? If we're gonna put the table there, it would be kind of nice for them to be able to look at something. Let's plop down beds just so we can see the time and try and sleep till daylight if we need to. Let's come over here. Not chairs. Let's just pop one down. It's only 7 p.m. Oh well, it is getting kind of dark, so let's just sleep until morning. See if that helps. I hope the rain stays. But I could use a little more daylight. Oh yeah. I know it's still dark out, but that feels better to me. Look at all the fog getting sucked up. What a cool effect. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this again, I think this area needs a rug. So I'm just scrapping the table so we have room. And let's look for a full, proper rug. I think this one will be delightful. And I think let's move this over a little further left if we can. Or let's swap the cabinet for this side and the stove for this side. Just because I want the space coming down the ramp to still feel pretty open. It's an odd floor plan to navigate, and I don't want them to struggle any more than they have to. So this would be the cooking zone. Let's pull this even further this way and then see if we can give them some storage. These things aren't really kitchen storage, huh? But shelves always feel kind of good as pantry storage. To me, at least. Because I can imagine that you're using that for, you know, your Blamco mac and cheese. That sort of thing. I'm gonna separate this a little more. I think that's good. I wish I had something better in the corner, though. I don't know what. Is it this? Because in theory, you could also put your Blamco mac and cheese on this. And it does fill in the corner. I don't know why it needs to be so far away from the wall. Maybe that's where I'm struggling, is these things don't want to intersect with the wall at all. Like, would I feel better about that if we could rug glitch it more closely? Let's try. Let's do a rubber mat, because maybe we even want to try and do a handful of these things glitched together at once. Because in a perfect world, the shelf would be just like on a little diagonal. And this would also be like right there. Yeah, that feels better to me. That feels good. And we don't need to delete the floor mat. It can just, that can be the kitchen space. Now let's come back to this dining area. Do we still want the rug here if we have a rug here? I know the floor mat doesn't feel as ruggy as a rug, but it is still technically a rug. I think I do want to keep their dining really tucked into this corner, because I don't want them to risk leaning back in their chair and falling over the ledge. We can also do a table that only faces this way, but that doesn't feel much like a dining table to me. Maybe this rug isn't working for me like I thought it was. Let's keep the table. Oop. I'm gonna scrap this rug, so I want you off of it. Because maybe their dining situation is just two chairs facing each other around this little round chair. This is one of my favorite dining chairs, but it does feel a little strange with the metal circular chair. I think these feel just a touch better. These little rubbery guys. Yeah, that works. That works well. And as you start to come down this side, I think a shelf could help make good use of this space as a transition. And something here. Maybe a smaller decorative table. Maybe this thing. Maybe a cabinet. A side table. I don't think a desk. I think we're too close to the slanting to be a desk. And now we're in the clean vault tech stuff. So let's come back over here to the left. It could be a table like that. It could be a bookshelf. Since we didn't do bookshelf here. How do we feel about a bookshelf like that? It feels too short. Let's grab the taller one. Yeah. Oh, I think that feels good. Bring that wall shelf up just a touch. Yeah, I think that feels really good. And I would love a painting or something up here. Maybe a flag. It could definitely be a flag. I think the blue works well with this blue shelf, so this could be Minuteman. Minuteman? Oh, I really like that. That's lovely. And then we would have room for a painting down here. Something big. Because we've got room for it. Although the line in the middle of the door is going to try and prevent us. Oh, because these are two separate walls that I set so we could place this wall. But they don't need to be two separate walls. Let's just replace that with the correct piece. Let's grab this guy. That still has a support beam in the middle of it. Are we going to be able to place a large painting on top? Oh, it looks like yes, if the small one is any indication. I do like these modern-y looking ones. I love this one. It just feels a little on the nose with the bombs. Oh, that's fun. I think just my personal taste leans a little more landscape. Should I try and push myself out of that though? Because that could be really cool. You just place it. I don't think I like it as much as a landscape. I tried. Can't say I didn't try. I think it's the combination of the colors and the frame that just make that feel a little more pulled together for me. Let's open the door back up just so I know where that's gonna be. Okay, and then bed. How did we do the bed in the neighbor's house? I forgot we gave them a little bread box. I adore that. They have 2 separate beds. Okay. So maybe this house... Oh, the farmer's farming. Maybe this house has a double bed? Beds. But with this small one so we can actually fit too. Yeah. Yeah. That's lovely. And then we can even do a very small coffee table at the foot here. That's delightful. Let's grab a little welcome mat. And we're going to kind of put it on the inside because I think you'd want to wipe your feet after you get inside. And let's look at more wall decorations. I want maybe a little wall buoy as sort of an entrance here. Yeah, very symmetrical, very proper. That's nice. And let's come out of wall decorations for some miscellaneous. Because I think we could give them a handful of candles and potted plants. I think that'd be delightful here. Let's do this side. Yeah, that's so charming. My goodness. And let's do one more over here. But maybe this one hasn't fared as well because it's right by the stove. Oh, and the blue and the blue and the blue. I love when a color can help tie things together. Let's do another candle on top of this if we can. And if not on top of this, on top of the shelf. Oh, yes. That's so good. Oh, this house is delightful. Let's see if we can't give them some boxes of mac and cheese at least. Do we have anything like that? We can give them a board game. Just one. They don't need 16. Bowl could be good. Let's drop 1, 2 bowls. Chessboard, cigar box. I guess edible things would be an aid, not junk. But let's give them a picture frame. And then let's come over to aid. There's our Blamco mac and cheese. Let's do 2 of that. And maybe some crayon. I love junk. I just love it. Let's put the bowls. Oh, I was gonna say on the table, but does it make more sense for them to be on in the bookshelf? Because I kind of anticipated the bookshelf being like storage. Let's do like that. Oh, I forgot the picture frames don't like being placed in workshop mode. These let's also just put on the cabinet and then we'll place them by hand onto the blue shelf. This will just help get it a little closer. Where can this go? This can go on the table. But then let's move these bowls out of the way. Delightful. We are gonna have to give them a shop in this settlement. There we go. Oh, that's so... Oh, hi Preston. I mean, what else could you want? Will this fit on the shelf? Preston, that was quite rude. Hey, hey. I don't know what's gotten into him. I can't tell if the shelf is deep enough. I think it is. Yeah. Oh my goodness, yes. That's wonderful. That way they can use the shelf for some like structural stuff like bowls and not structural stuff. cutlery? What's the word for like bowls and plates? Some bowls and plates, board game. Oh, you're cooking. I don't know where you got that. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna fill up the pantry a little bit. I wondered what that sound was. Preston hacking his meat was not on my list of guesses. Here we go. I love the little pantry we've made. This is a great house. I think we do need to figure out sort of what it opens up to over here. And then what have we been doing with the lights? I know we picked sort of one kind of light we've been adding to the front. Oh, yeah, we did do the street light. I kind of forgot that we did the street light. To Wi-Fi glitch. Okay, so the generator's probably going to have to move here. Eventually, that's a good thing for us to remember. We've got the generator. Let's think through more of what our footprint at this settlement is going to be like. Let's come up to this rock thing if we can. Can we? I guess if we jump. Alright, there we go. So we have 2 houses, which is wonderful. So we can have at least 4 people live here comfortably, which I adore. That'll be nice and safe for them. At least some of those people could service this guard post that we made because we didn't put beds up there. But that's good defense. We have some farmers. I know we only have 2 people here technically right now. I think that building a shop is a good move as well. I do like the idea of doing a large open barn, sort of like this pre-war structure that already exists here. A large open barn to serve as a shop, because we're so far removed up here in Far Harbor. I can't get in this way. There we go. We're so far removed up here that having like a trading depot, I think would be really important. And it would give us another building to sort of do the nice little face inward thing. I think we have just about enough time if we want to scrap this pre-war building and start outlining what that shop could look like. So let's do it. There we go. Oh, there was a fishing rod. I thought maybe there'd be some junk, but I didn't know how much. And let's copy basically what the floor plan was before. Let's look at a prefab though. We could do like a big barn entrance on the side. That is cool because it does mean that they could get bigger furniture in and out. Okay, so they basically had like at least 4 squares, probably 6, but I think we want to be a little more reserved. Why doesn't it want to go this way? That's interesting. If I just move all the floor pieces, we shouldn't have any issue being more this way. I just want to bring it up high enough that the brush pieces poking out the top don't feel quite so distracting. And I would love to keep sort of copying what we're doing with allowing a front garden and a back patio, but I don't think that this is a livable space. I think this is just a store. So let's just feel that out with the walls. And we'll come back to this next time. We're not going to get far enough on this one to be able to complete it. We could do it as a proper barn. Do this and this. What do the barn walls sort of look like? Is it these big doors? What goes in here? Is it like that? Like that? And like that? I don't know how these doors open. We're gonna have to try. Oh, there we go. That's pretty cool. That could allow them, if they're, you know, fishing, if they've got like a big carcass that they've sort of captured, or a boat or something, to sort of haul it in here, which I could see being really valuable. And then the original kind of had just like a simple ceiling where everything vaulted to the middle. Do we like the rafters? Do the rafters feel like they provide a little more support? I think so. Yeah, I think that's lovely. And we do want, of course, a door. Although because of the bushes, maybe the door goes this way. Just playing around. Just playing around. Because maybe the door, maybe we do a proper front garden like we were talking about. These floor pieces are just acting a little bit strange. Sometimes placing and replacing them can kick off a little more success. This weird fern thing is making it so I can't quite go all this way. That's all right. I'm trying to judge if we want a back door. This is just our shop. If nobody's living here, do they still need access to the sort of community yard? Maybe. If we're thinking about the community yard as when there is an attack, you have multiple points of entrance and exit. They do have this as a point of exit and entrance. Let me close these doors again so we can see that, how it would normally look. I might want this longer. Because the pre-war house that we were so inspired by, it had these big yellow shelves, these guys. And if we want a store in here as well, now I'm just sort of putting things down as placeholders. If we want a general store in here, we might need more room. This might need to be 2 squares longer either way, which we have space for. So let's do it. Let's expand it. That gives us a good footprint. And I don't want to get too far with this because I know we're going to have to do all the decorating and stuff next time. That'll be where we pick up. And so I just want to make sure that we've left ourselves enough to still be creative here. Why won't this floor snap on? Or take these pieces off. Then, yeah, then it'll snap. Let's just recreate that. Wall. Open wall. Or I guess door frame. Let's grab the door back. This guy. And we'll scooch and scooch. I love just scooching little pieces where they need to be. This is a little too samey with all of these being unbroken, so we'll do one broken one in the middle. Come back around here and just placing and replacing so we can have more wiggle room in how that exists. Alright, how's that feeling? Definitely allows us more space, which I think is great. That's more than enough room for the shelf. We'll flesh this out next time. I do think we want a backdoor exit. Let's do that. Is that hole gonna bother us? I don't think so. Does that feel high enough that we need a little pillar to support it? The pillars really don't want to be pillars, and that's okay. I can respect that. But let's place another one on this side to just be our front entrance. And then I think we'll do the pillar fence thing we did last time. But I'll leave that for us to pick up next time if we still think it looks good. Sometimes we come back to something the week after and realize it feels very different. I just want to grab the floor so we can scooch this up a bit, but maybe it does look good here. We have enough room. We have enough room for a small garden. We have room for a loading zone here. We have room for more of this back entrance. This shopkeep will have an exit to the back, an exit to the front. And I think it's okay that they won't have a bed in here. Because again, I mean, we have room for 4 people in the other beds. And let's just fill in these roofs. There we go. Okay. That, I think, is more than enough of a placeholder to know where we want to pick up. And I like that we're doing a store, because I think the pre-war with the shelves was just so charming. Let's just get ourselves some good sea air. Perfect. I'm excited to pick up again here next time. Please let me know what you think. I would love to hear your thoughts. You guys always have the best insights. Do you like this little barn shop that we're doing? Should we add a loft in here where somebody can sleep? Or should we just keep the houses as the houses and this as our store? At some point, we're also going to want to do a diner. Probably more electrified things because we have the generator, and we won't forget about the outhouse. I always forget to give them a bathroom, but we're not going to forget this time. Thank you so much for joining me today, the General of the Minutemen, as we work together to make the Commonwealth safer, one settlement at a time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to give it a like and leave me a comment. And if you didn't, be sure to give me a thumbs down and let me know in the comments what I could have done better. You guys are the best. Reading your comments is my favorite part of every single week. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
I got word of a settlement that needs our help. I'll mark the location on your map.